Hey guys, spiritual healer Kimberly here with your nighttime meditation on Wednesday, October 8th. And today is Solar Plexus Chakra Day, which is all about gaining the confidence within ourselves and the courage to really be our authentic selves all the way through. Many people haven't ventured into spirituality yet. And many people have gone so far into spirituality that it's all still stuck in their head. That's how I was for a while. And it takes some getting accustomed to living your full authentic self on a regular basis. Taking the wisdom and the knowledge that you've gained and allowing it to absorb into yourself so that you can be that all the time, you know. But, I just want to remind you that, on Root Chakra Monday, we're focusing on, our foundation, our origin of who we really are, beyond all of the things that we've made, because in the very, very beginning, there was one. And that one created us all. And that one created us in the likeness of him. And the highest vibration that we could hope to achieve, personal energy vibration I speak of, is that which we can only attain through understanding who we really, really, really are. Before man got his hands on everything, before there was religion, before there was politics, before there was countries, before there was different nationalities, all those things, we were all just love. And fearless in our capabilities of bringing our love forward and integrating that into a productive way by co-creating with the Most High Creator. And when we remember who we really, really are, capable of achieving absolutely anything and do absolutely anything we could possibly imagine, and that because we were created in the likeness of him, we also have the same level of spiritual protection wrapped around us, provided by the Most High Creator, when we operate in our purest form. And right now, we have mastered many things about ourselves, except many of us have not allowed ourselves to venture into any greater understanding about their actual origin. Spirituality is a method to communicate and connect with the Most High Creator. I'm a Christian, and you could be some other religion, and that's fine. Because before anything was our origin of being. And we all have that commonality between us. And the Most High Creator put together an educational system, which the meat and potatoes of our relationships. And if we're not constantly encountering relationships, then we're not receiving challenges. Therefore, we're not gaining in wisdom. We're not growing. We're just sitting stagnant. And the world around us changes. It's the only constant. So when you finally realize that you are all of these things, but we've just allowed ourselves to get buried underneath of a different way of living than what's truly in connection, in the same energetic vibration as we were at our origin, which is bringing us all down. And this final understanding about our spiritual selves and who we are, along with understanding how that affects us energetically, okay, are to be used together. And that feels like the very last piece of the human being so that we may become whole. And it's in that wholeness that we begin to see truth. So with all of this foundation and understanding who we are, the next step is finding our joy. And this foundation of understanding and our finding our joy are what are combined for us. And these end up our passions. Our dreams come true. The miracle. Like we're literally becoming the miracle as we walk through. Because we are here to atone and learn and all rise above back to love. Right? So when you're following your joy and your bliss, it's not a game, and it's not just something you hear on the commercial or from a motivational speaker's mouth. It's a fact. When we rediscover sometimes what truly brings us joy, for instance, if you are, married and facing difficulties with one another, more than likely there's an educational experience there. And when you both choose to understand what the education was, you grow together and people don't break up. But we've never been taught this segment. But by the time that you get to this level of understanding who you are and rediscovering and creating new things that bring you joy, believe me, on this day you wake up wanting to be that because you realize you can. And that's where this whole self-confidence of the solar plexus comes in. The self-confidence, the self-esteem about who you really are gives you the ability to begin entering into a different type of relationship with others, your family members, your friends, your coworkers. This is like where you just start allowing yourself to be fully authentic in front of the limited group of people that you normally encounter. It's like a pre-test. You know what I mean? And why that is because our families and our close network of people are our support system. We are meant to have the greatest challenges within that network because we are the ones that are most likely to be able to work it out. Find these educations within these challenges so that everyone may learn and continue on. It brings peace instead of arguments. It brings love instead of disagreements. Even if you choose to disagree with one another, that's okay too. And you may decide to break apart, but it doesn't mean this. It's not the same as what we're accustomed to. This is a higher level wisdom that we are gaining within ourselves in addition to our joy and excitement about waking up every morning and doing our thing. Even when we got to go to the job, within that job, there's beneficial things within it. We just forget. The job pays the bills, right? We might not like the bills, but the job pays the bills. And we, the people, have been the workhorses of the whole country. Right? And now, more than ever, it's important that we rise to the occasion and rediscover this missing piece within ourselves so that we can then work better together because, things are beginning to happen, friends. And it's only going to get worse. But what's happening doesn't need to be happening. What's happening has a very, very low energetic vibration. And that's inclusive of everything going on. All the theatrics and so forth. And forgive me, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but the theatrics of the political side of things. The weather-related problems, which are enormous. And we're finding out things that are really important as we're giving money away to all these countries. We're finding that our own home, FEMA's out of money. That, these things are alarming. Insurance carriers are problematic. Well, they chose to be there. And from experience, I know the level of fraud that's taking place there, on top of the emotional problems, on top of the next incoming. I mean, this is a very serious national disaster. And FEMA's out of money. The same thing's happening down there, from what I'm hearing, as happened in Hawaii. Both alarming. The talk of food shortages, the wars, the bombs, the death, the number of homeless people we have. I'm living in a car. All of this doesn't need to be happening. It doesn't need to be happening. But it continues to happen because I want to explain to you how it works. Because this is what drives me, okay? And my business people are going to understand this the best. The United States of America is a corporation. Okay? A corporation is a business. Businesses are created for one reason: to live out the passion and the profitability of such. Okay? When you're a good business person, you make excellent plans. You look far into the future. And you say, okay, this is where I want to be by this time. And then you work backwards. And by the time you get to where you come all the way back to where you are now, you've created a very, very complicated, intricate network of things that will support your end goal, right? I mean, it's true with any business. Well, the business plan for the United States of America is pretty much up. And this is the problem that we're facing. Because now that the business plan is expiring, now we're faced with what's next. And that's what's going down right now. And what's next varies very differently from one party to the next right now. We actually have a national disaster going on right now. And we need to be able to determine how to handle it correctly. The behavior that we're watching play out in our faces is not only juvenile, but it's downright evil. And we need to be able to see in order to make the correct decisions and handle them appropriately without causing any more damage or problems. We need to be mature adults and understand that we are, in fact, how should I say? We are the president. Put plainly, the president is a person that is elected by the people. But if the people don't understand what basis or condition and attributes of each candidate based and their ability to tackle the condition that we're in with us, if we don't think that they could lead us towards victory working together for the positive outcome for everyone, then how could we hire them, right? Only by tapping into that final piece of ourselves, that understanding of our origin and who we are and what we're capable of. And bringing the joyful, creative, loving person to the forefront right now is our very different response to an emergency situation. It's much, much different than anything that we've ever done before. But it's easy as pie. It really is. And if we do that together, then more of us can begin to see the truth of our situation, so that the proper evaluation for who we choose to hire can be accomplished with the full understanding that it's not just the person that we're electing, but all of us. This is a time where we all step up to the plate and we crank this baby, because we built her. We know all her parts. We know how to morph them into other things. And we're all just as smart as one another, geniuses, in fact. And we can do this again in a slightly different way that will enable our growth. And by the time this is over, we're going to be shining bright like a diamond. And I promise you that. Because what happens as a result of our learning and the increase of our personal energy vibration and our now understanding and ability to use it correctly, once we pass this test, if you will, of becoming our most authentic selves in joy and safety and wisdom, and we begin to connect with other people, that is such an unbelievable, positive, energetic vibration, not only for each of us individually, but then combined, it's like a powerhouse. Now, if I don't know the numbers exactly, I don't know that it's ever been measured, or even if it could be measured correctly. But that positive energetic vibration has got to be at least 100 times more powerful than a negative energy vibration. It actually repels it once you raise it to the highest vibration that we get. Neutralizes it, transmutes it. And it's simply not by, we're not talking about abrupt change. We're talking about learning how to do things that are better for ourselves. Each one of us individually. And by doing that, we create a stronger family unit where the family is all operating individually but collectively in a, not a codependent way, but an interdependent way. And then that family unit, having learned that within the family, then begins to cultivate that with every person they touch. So therefore, that's when it begins to affect the community. And so on, and so on. We create things that we appreciate so much more that we end up preferring to utilize those rather than the old things. And then the old things just begin slipping away. Relationships are seen from a completely different perspective, and therefore they seldomly disagree to the point where separation would be needed. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's less likely. This is when we really need to be able to see truth. And truth, when you start being able to see truth, and I'm under the belief that the Most High Creator only gives you as much truth as you can handle at a time, because it is like backwards day, once you understand. And little bits and pieces of truth will be shown to you so that it begins to form in your vision. So it starts to chip away at the mold that we've grown accustomed to developing for ourselves as a means of living life. Because you have to remember, as a business, the people who created this weren't going to go in to lose. So they created pathways that enabled them to win no matter what. And a lot of those things are the things that are kept hidden from us. It's the other part of business. That's the only thing I can say about it. It's expansive, and it's criminal, and it's scary. And it affects a lot of people. And I know this because I've experienced it. And I could see it a mile away. But you know how I learned it? It wasn't from experience, because they're experts at hiding it. I learned it by growing spiritually, learning how to harness my energy, and finally being able to see truth. And that's why I'm here with everyone. That's why I'm communicating all that I need to communicate to the best of my understanding, because I've been seeing for the collective now since 2016. I have already accurately interpreted many, many things. And, but I also, I'm like a medium, and I receive downloads, business plans, all kinds of stuff. I've also seen where we're going to end up. So I want to give you this vision of mine, because there hasn't been a one that's shown itself to be incorrect yet. Okay. I was just walking down the street. I was walking down the street in the neighborhood. I took a walk regularly. So I'm walking down the sidewalk, as usual, just boop, 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 listening to my music, right? And then suddenly I felt like a little bit woozy, right? And I'm like still walking, right? And then suddenly everything in front of me, my whole everything turned yellow. With like, if I had yellow sunglasses on, just like that. When you wear yellow sunglasses, the sky is much brighter. The trees and the colors of everything just super stand out. And everything is bathed in a yellow glow. That was the vision I had. And at the moment that vision came to me, it was like, this is what will be. Like I was being shown our goal so I could work backwards. Right? So if I'm here sharing this with you, doesn't it kind of sort of seem Like that might be what's going on here, where I'm helping guide us to the place that we need to walk together through our own internal selves first, through spirituality and energy vibration. Doesn't it make sense that I would be here to help us get to that vision that I had? It does. And the Most High Creator would not have placed it in my heart unless it was truth. And what we have, my friends, is the most magnificent system one could ever dream of. Fully comprehensive. Able to suit every last need that we have. Right under our feet. Many of us have worked to build it and didn't even know it. Most of us, I should say. And that system, if corrected and redirected, will be everything to us. And you know what's going to happen? As more and more of us gain this wisdom and knowledge of self, and we begin to integrate and through our solar plexus chakra have this confidence to begin living our most authentic selves and begin integrating this through our family. I mean, this is magnificent. All we're being asked to do is be all that we can be. Oh my goodness. Couldn't be anything easier. It's not about, having to do your shadow work or having to, address the little person inside me. It's not about overcoming all of your trauma. It's not. It's actually very scientific as well. When we work to increase our spiritual understanding and wisdom, and this is an absolute, and we learn how to manage the personal energy vibrations that increase as a result of gaining that spiritual knowledge and wisdom. Okay, you with me? This is the form and the basis that brings across correction. There will be no ability to think about anything other than a positive forward movement. When we work in this fashion to improve oneself as we are this moment, this day, and we get to this place, our understanding about things is so completely different, I can't even begin to tell you, because you would never understand. However, I will say, you look at things for their purpose and have a completely different viewpoint on its outcome, even the most traumatic of events. Healing is a natural process because we understand the cause of the trauma from the truth about it, rather than our perceived notions of it, our emotions of it. And when we can understand logically about those trauma-related things, then we have the ability to apply our spiritual knowledge. We have the ability to allow our emotions as human beings and honor ourselves by honoring our emotions, the feminine side of us. And we're creating a strength within us that enables to have this controlled emotional output that's coupled with a 3D work in this world, live in this world reality of logic combination. So far, we've all been very logical, and many of us don't bring the emotion in. On the other hand, there's a lot of people who are all emotion and lack knowledge, logic altogether. And we seek to have that balance through this type of education. that positive energy vibration that we're creating can change absolutely everything that brings us fear or anxiety about what's going on. It can change the outlook and outcome of the election. It can change the outcome and the outlook on all of these national disasters and weather as a whole, global warming, gas, oil, power, banking. It literally touches every area of our life in a very positive way. From a scientific perspective, it's actually when you raise your energetic vibration and focus your energy and your intention to move forward in a positive way, then you are more connecting with the Most High Creator's higher level vibration. And that vibration causes a new pathway, a new neurological pathway within your brain. And whichever pathway is used the most is the one that is utilized the most. So technically, scientifically, the more we do more of what we do want, the less we have any interference of what we used to have that we no longer want. And that's just created by rediscovering things that bring you even more joy and acting upon them in your most authentic self. That's our goal. No? That's when we're all focused on unity and peace. And we discover creative processes to overcome all the obstacles. The energetic vibration resonating with the Earth's energetic vibration and the atmospheric, the universal, I should say, energy vibration. This kind of ties everything together, and I call it the dance of life. Where finally all things created come into a similar energetic vibration and work beneficially with one another. From an energy perspective, I'm sure, I've never considered it, but it makes sense that it would calm a lot of the problems that we're having in the universe as well. Because, we could look at the solar system kind of like we look at our planet. And if our planet becomes more resonating on a beneficial, positive vibration, then that must also affect everything that surrounds it. Even if it's like millions of miles away from each other. So we really are affecting, absolutely everything when we allow our energetic vibration to increase. And that's why I do these meditations, and that's why I do the morning focus, and that's why I do the midday. Because we operate in a world that's still heavily negative. And right now we need to support one another and staying positive, learning, growing, overcoming, by just learning how to connect to our origin and manage our personal energy vibrations. These 2 steps, that I just explained to you, these 3 steps with the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and those 2 are the absolute most important. And then, in order for us to integrate, the third is absolutely important. These 3 chakras, I wouldn't trade them for the world, but it's exactly what nobody pays attention to. And then going into the 4th chakra, we're in the heart chakra. And that's where we have, all right now, we have allowed ourselves to become authentic. And in our understanding of things, then, we begin to see that everybody is exactly the same. And we are all given our own personal educational process specific to ourselves, given by the Most High Creator, directed by the Most High Creator, However, what begins in love must also end in love. So we're all on a path to go back to love. Except everybody's path looks different. And sometimes we meet at points during our path. And that's where the relationships are formed. And that's what gives us the basis of an educational experience. And we understand this now so well. That conflict, you realize that conflict need not exist at all about anything. Because there's nothing that can't be resolved and worked out in a creative way that's beneficial to all parties if all parties agree to do so. So the integration of the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus chakra is so ultimately important, because without it, you could never reach that level of understanding in the heart chakra, which enables us to integrate together. You know, most of us still know the throat chakra, which is all about communication. I teach it a little bit differently. And then the third eye chakra, everybody's, familiar with that, with intuition. Well, I teach that a little bit differently too, because, it's not guesswork once you've experienced it multiple times. When you've experimented and tested and utilized these processes and systems for as many times as I have, theory is no longer theory. It's fact. We live in a world of theory, yet we have fact that we can utilize today for our benefit. But without these four, getting back to the third eye chakra, I do explain that completely different than everyone else, because I have a different understanding of it, because I have attained this level of understanding and wisdom. And the crown chakra, reaching that level of the crown chakra is also so amazing, but we know how to do these things, a projection, an intuitive sense, a way of communicating, these things that we've worked on. Now we're going to be slightly different in our use of them, but we've basically learned how to use them. We know the nuts and bolts of it, right? So the primary importance of our work is in the first four chakras. And then we adjust the other three chakras to be in alignment with what we established in our four chakras below. I know I'm speaking about it in chakras because, it's just a helpful reference, really, of energy centers that we're experiencing during our spiritual growth that somehow integrate into our body and affect our endocrine system, which is absolutely necessary for our health and our life. So, anyway, I probably got all off track. But I really believe in we the people. I always have. Even though I've had some really terrible things happen to me, I still believe in the people. Because if I didn't believe in you, I couldn't believe in myself. If I can do it, anybody can do it. The thing I learned, though, that I'm so, my first thing that made me so excited to teach other people is that I didn't have anybody who understood things at the same understanding as I did, from a little bit elevated spiritual perspective, even, as a young girl and going into life, okay? So, for me, I was still very much stuck in my Christian values, and I had a lot of guilt and unworthiness and, feelings I had that I had anchored within me that made me feel like exploring more would be a sin. And I was really afraid to do it for a really long time. But over and over again, through the years, my intuition really has kept me alive. So, I allowed myself a little bit, but every little step I took it back to the Most High, and I'm like, all right. And at that time I was saying God, because I'm Christian, right? I was taking it back to God and, discussing it with him. And there was many things that I kicked to this curb because they just had a negative undertone to them. But there's plenty of things that I experienced and I've experimented with and actually utilized that bring us to this other place. But I did it by tearing my life apart is what I'm getting at. Every little thing I tore apart. I had conflict after conflict and cycle after cycle and blah, 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 blah. And then when I finally got over the majority of it, I realized that, as I'm learning, I'm growing in spirituality as well. So I get to this level of spiritual understanding and I look back and I go, well, you just brought yourself through hell for no reason. I mean, literally. And, I've been SA'd over 3,000 times. I had a brush with cancer. I lost a child at 20. I gave birth a preemie child, 26 weeks, who only survived for 6 weeks. That was devastating. I've been divorced. I've been, attached to an alcoholic family and, narcissism and crime and corruption and more than I could ever even express to you. And one day I arrived at this place where I was cool. I'm cool. I get it. I get it. I don't have to tear my emotional self apart. I don't have to correct every little piece of me to be the best that I can be. Because now when I look back, I realize all of that education, what it meant. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm a great student. We all are. We're all geniuses. So I was like, oh, I get it. All right. And from this place, it's almost like healing is unnecessary, although it's constant. It's just something that's built into your psyche at that point where you have developed such a deep level of understanding, you don't even have to think it through all that much. Some things are hurdy-hurdy, and your human body wants to respond, cry or get angry or whatever. And those are the times that, you have to honor yourself, but rein yourself in to have the emotional control not to get violent or anything like that. And then after you allow yourself to get through that feeling, because you're a human being, you're honoring yourself, which is a wonderful thing. Then you look at it from your spiritual perspective and you rein yourself back in. That's the healing. That's healing. It's instantaneous. People don't understand how I can do it. Well, I'm telling you how. You just have to be willing to do it. And it's so darn easy. And I'm not asking you to believe in this God or that God or the other God. I'm just asking you to remember who you were, who we all were, at the day that we arrived. We can argue, oh, I arrived here, I arrived here, I arrived here. Yeah, I get it. But we're all created from one with the same exact intention, with the same exact goal. We're created out of love and joy. We're manifesting machines. We are capable of all things. We should be fearless in that knowledge because we are protected as a result. We're capable of having the highest understanding and feeling and expression of love, and we're capable of giving the same. And it's the balance that we need right now. Because within all of this knowledge, and I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's quite easy. If it's difficult, then we're doing something wrong. This is easy. We have the capability of doing it and seeing truth for what we need to see it. And then and only then will we understand what really is in our best interest going forward. Really in our best interest. Because there's clouds and layers and curtains and, all kinds of stuff blocking our vision. But when you see truth, you see right through all the shit. And you know how to handle it. And you do so calmly, peacefully. in a way that benefits everyone concerned. And our energy vibration all by itself will begin the process for us. That was a lot. I need a break. I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'm back. Before I get going, I wanted to mention one other thing. Tonight is the first episode, and I don't know when I'm going to get all this uploaded, okay? And I'm going to share the very first episode on locals. Only on locals, so you have to be a supporter, please. I could use your help anyway. Right now. Anyway, tonight's the very first episode of my real life story, which I tell in background for the next 7 episodes. But I also provide what's going on right now. And at the end of the 7 episodes, I'll be done with the background. And if we need to continue on, we will continue on to the very end. And I'm going to do that on Mondays and Wednesday nights, 2 times per week. And on Monday last, which was the 6th, I put out a little, okay, this is what we're going to be talking about, so you might want to listen on that. And then tonight's going to be the first episode, but, I'm finding that I just need to take my time as I'm starting this stuff off, so bear with me. Because especially with that story, it's very, I have to be able to tell my story, my traumatic stories, to you in a way in which isn't overly traumatic for you, but helps you see the things I've seen in my experiences of life, because it's part of what we need to correct. It's part of that other part of the business that I was talking about. The one that's hidden. Well, that's the one I'm talking about. That's the one I've experienced. And I need to tell everybody about it. And I'm hoping that through my story, at least, you understand that we definitely have a call to action on our hands. Okay, I'm not telling you for your sympathy. I've healed from it. I developed a beautiful process as a result of it. But it's my experience, and we need to know it. And we need to understand that how important it is. Pardon me. How important it really is. That we, the people, become the best that we can be right now. Begin working on it today. Anyway. So tonight's meditation. Now, I did one on Monday night. I really, really enjoyed that meditation. Last night I didn't do one. As you can hear, my voice is like really craggy. I have terrible allergies or something going on. And I take allergy medicine and I conk out, and that happened for the last 2 nights. Thankfully, I did Monday, the night before. Anyway, so I didn't do sacral chakra meditation on Tuesday night is what I'm getting at. And tonight is Wednesday night for sacral chakra meditation. Now, what I'd like to do, because, as I explained, those first 3 chakras are like monumental. I would like to do a meditation for all 3 chakras, but we'll give special focus to the sacral and the solar plexus. And I think it's best if on Monday I was like, all right, this is what we're going to do, and this is what it is. Tonight, I'm being led to just let this come out of me. All night, this is my tone for tonight. I feel very connected. And when I'm very connected, I listen back on myself to hear what I say. So, I'm just going to let the Most High take this one, okay? So, I wouldn't be afraid. And if you ever feel uncomfortable at any time, you could just simply turn off the video or walk away or whatever, okay? You're not needing to stay here. It's not ever anything scary. What should happen is that, you have the ability to connect with yourself and connect with the Most High Creator in a greater way, and leave this feeling refreshed and, in a place where you can rest easy and have nice dreams tonight, and wake up in the morning tomorrow, excited about getting to it. Or at least a refreshing light kind of feeling like a release, okay? Because I'm an energy transmutation specialist. So the way that seems to come out of my mouth is in a way that helps you feel better, okay? So, but a lot of that means that I don't plan a lot of stuff. I can plan a schedule, but we'll see how this one goes, okay? Now, the way you're sitting is up to you. Sit any way you want. Actually, let me get a little bit more comfortable, I think. Sick of this car chair, to be honest. Okay. And we always do like some breathing, because breathing helps you, relax. And then we're done. So sit in any position that you want. If you lay down, you run the risk of falling asleep, but that's okay too. I fell asleep a lot in the beginning when I was doing meditations. But in any case, just let yourself, get into your position, take a sip of your drink or whatever. I'm still on coffee because I got some more stuff to do. Okay. I've got my candle lit next to me. And for me, it's just, a prop. It makes me think of prayers, actually. But it's calming and it's soothing. And I've got my little bag right here that I keep hung on my steering column there. And, it's all of the crystals that represent all of the chakras. It's black obsidian, red jasper, tiger's eye, green aventurine, lapis lazuli, amethyst, and clear quartz. And I have a couple little extra amethyst stones and a jade, just to throw them in extra. But really the 7 are perfectly suitable. And I just have them out because they have an energy vibration of all their own, okay? And, just let them sit next to me. Sometimes when I feel like I really want to amp up my day, I usually take the what's this one? This one, the amethyst. I can't see in here too good. All right, black obsidian and the green aventurine. These are my 2 go-tos. That kind of keeps me balanced in my day, but that's me personally. You guys might find, one or a different combination would work good for you. And I'll stick them in my pocket or my handbag. I'll even put them in my booby pocket. And, just carry with them in the day. So, let's just get comfortable, take that drink or whatever. Move around a little bit, loosen yourself up. Okay, when we're ready, let's go. We're going to take a deep breath in for 10 and out for 10. You ready? Let's go. And another. Now roll your head around, stretch out your neck. Oh, I just got a crack. Pull your chin up, stretch the front of that neck, and try to loosen up tension in those shoulders. Roll your shoulders if you like. Okay. All right, now let's take another breath in for 10. Father, please guide this meditation for the good. Thank you. Okay, let's take another breath in for 10. And out for 10. Now I want you to think about your day just very lightly. Just float over your day and think about all of the interactions that you had with all the different people today, what you did at work, the running around you did. Don't stop on any one of them and mull it over. Just lightly look at your day as if you're an outside observer. And think about all of the people that you came in contact with. Just the numbers, 20, 30, 40, 50 maybe. All those people, right? Take a deep breath in for 10. And out for 10. Now I want you to imagine, in your mind's eye, with your eyes still closed, sitting on the side of a creek, lake bed. You're sitting up on top of the stones with your feet dangling in the water, your toes touching and splashing in the water, and how cool it feels on your feet. Take a deep breath in for 10. And out for 10. Now look all around you and see all the beautiful, lush greenery surrounding you, dotted with flowers. An occasional little white butterfly goes by. And as you gaze into the water, you see the reflection of the trees in the water and the glimmer of the sun shining through the trees into the water, casting a beautiful glow across the water. Wiggle your toes. Feel that cool water on your feet. And take a deep breath in for 10. And out for 10. Now I want you to imagine yourself kicking your feet, both of your feet in there, kicking. You're getting water everywhere, just everywhere. And you're laughing and you're giggling and you're having a great time. And you're just feeling like a child. Take a deep breath in for 10. And out for 10. Now, imagine yourself standing up, staying right there at the creek. And now, you jump in like a cannonball. Big, huge splash, laughing and grinning and having a great time. And swimming back to the edge. And sitting back on top of that side. Go in for 10. And out for 10. Now I want you to imagine, just imagine that feeling that you have. Surrounded by all this beauty. The smell of it is intoxicating. And you're joking around and laughing and swimming and splashing just like a child with not a care in the world. And now you're sitting back on the side, leaning back on your hands with your face up to the sun. I want you to feel that feeling right now. Be there. Be there in that place. You just feel like you did all this fun stuff, like you kind of got away with stuff. You're kind of proud that you just had the ability to be yourself and act like yourself for this moment in time. Breathe in for 10. And breathe out for 10. Now I want you to stand up again in your mind's eye. And now we're going to turn around and walk down the path back towards home. It's a dirt path, has some rocks strewn about it, with beautiful green grass and tall weeds and all kinds of wildflowers growing all around us, dotted with trees. Some look interesting to climb. And when we're walking back, we've got a little bit different pep in our step. our shoulders are back just a little bit more than they're usual. You find a smile on your face. And you're headed back home to comfort, to love. Maybe a cold iced tea. Breathe in for 10. And out for 10. Now I want you to imagine arriving back home. And you're sitting on in the rocking chair on the front porch, drinking that iced tea or lemonade or whatever. Just rocking back and forth and thinking about your day. How peaceful it was. How joyful it was. How good you felt when you finally let yourself be you. And how much you look forward to doing it again tomorrow. And maybe, just maybe, you'll climb that tree on the way home. Take a breath in for 10. And out for 10. Now I want to bring you back to your day. And I want you to again lightly think about all of the interactions that you had with everyone during the day. And with this feeling that you feel inside of yourself, this peacefulness, this joy, re-look at that day and see how it may have been just slightly different. Relaxed and full of joy, peaceful within oneself. And anything that may have aggravated you or upset you during the day, let it lightly just sail away in the wind. Blow them all away. And you're remembering right now that life is a journey that's meant to be full of love and full of joy. Take a deep breath in for 10. And out for 10. Again. And one more. Okay, now open your eyes. And that's our meditation. Well now, that's pretty good. I liked it. I hope you liked it too. What we did just there is, I think you probably picked it up. We addressed our sacral chakra by allowing ourselves to feel joy. Allowing ourselves to feel joy is necessary. You deserve it. You really do. And then we remembered and felt confident about how good it felt to be our real authentic selves. And how by staying in that place, it may, just may, you'll find and see for yourself, affect your day in a completely different way. I promise you that. And tonight, when you go to sleep, you're going to have beautiful dreams of creation. I just know it. Because you just also opened up your creative channel and allowed your energetic vibration to flow right through your chakras. And they're headed towards the heart. Tonight will be beautiful dreams. And in the morning when you wake up, I bet you feel super calm. And surprise yourself. And even if you wake up not in such a calm state, there will be a point during your morning that you recollect our meditation just now, our conversation, and feel good about being you. I love you. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye for now.